Hello, accountability buddies. This is Les with Less is More Healthy, coming to you from the car yet again. I'm at the Willows in this video, and I'm actually re-recording the audio for this because, for whatever reason, Adobe Rush is having difficulty when I use a lot of multiple footage and also have to adjust the horizon line, so it just will cut the audio out of it. I don't know how to fix it or what to do, but the way that I'm fixing it is usually by re-rendering the video repeatedly, which is very annoying. So in this video, I was talking about the fact that I had gone to my doctor recently, gotten new medication for cholesterol, maintained the medication for diabetes, and readjusted my blood pressure medication. So, I also, in the previous episode, had a little accident on my bike. So, this is what happened on the bike. I was out on a section of town that is kind of cut off from the rest of the city. It is like all of the streets that could connect with this section of the city are, they just stop, which I find fascinating. I'm a little obsessed with it. The way you get to this section of the city is you can go to Colgate Park and hike through the woods, or you can go around emergency vehicle, or not really go around, but there are gates that you can only access if you're an emergency vehicle, but everyone who lives in these apartment buildings walks around them and takes their dogs for a walk. So I just went around the gate and got into this kind of walled off community. And so while I was in there, I realized I'd been looking at the maps that I can go and see the water tower, which is something that I've wanted to do for years. It's kind of a ridiculous kind of like thing to want to do, is go and see a water tower, but I've actually, up until this point, never seen a water tower up close. So it was kind of cool to go and see. I don't even know if this water tower is actually in use anymore. So anyway, I rode out into this sort of like walled off community and rode around, checked out all of the apartment buildings, and there are a lot of them and a lot of McMansions out there. Kind of interesting. I'm fascinated by it. And so anyway, I realized that the water tower, you could get to it from this road called Old Road. I think at one point Old Road may have been paved, but now it is all gravel. And we have had so much rain here that the smaller gravel pretty much washed out, and all that's left is this big, chunky, crushed gravel. And it's also in areas incredibly soft. This road is not traveled very often by vehicles. I think occasionally large trucks go out there to maintain the cell tower and check on the water tower. I did see evidence of people like camping and dumping trash out there. Some of that footage will be in additional videos. So anyway, so I was out there. I did a coffee outside episode, kind of just chilled, looking at the woods and checking out the water tower without actually trespassing under the water tower. Although it's interesting that they had the gate locked with a chain and padlock, but then there was an area where you could literally just walk around the fence. So anyway, again, fascinating stuff. So anyway, on my way out, I moved my camera mount, and I made the decision to go for the center of the road, and I knew the moment I hit the gravel wash that was a bad idea. I got sucked down into this wash, where the smaller gravel that really holds a gravel road together, had almost entirely washed out. And what was left behind was this loose, crushed gravel, like palm sized gravel rocks that had sharp edges, and just wasn't holding together. The road desperately needs to be graded and ridden on by large trucks to compact that again. That is, I don't think, is going to happen. this year. It probably won't happen next year either, because this road is not intended really for much other than the occasional repair vehicle to go out on. Um, so when I hit the downhill and I made the decision to go into the middle of the road. I felt my tires get sucked into the wash, and I knew I was going to lose control. And when I started to lose control, I dumped my bike. So kind of like jump and push away from the bike and tuck and roll at the same time. I hit the gravel pretty hard. But because I knew that I was falling, I knew that I was, going down, I was able to control how I was going to go down. So I did hit my right shoulder, my right elbow, my right hip, my right foot on the gravel. I also smacked my helmeted head into the gravel. Now, I was not badly hurt. I've got a little bit of road rash on my arm, my shoulder specifically, some bruises, some aches and pains. Definitely feeling a little worse for the wear the day after, but largely I got really lucky. Because, I do have a history of mountain biking, I did that for a really long time. I know how to dump my bike, and it's something I think more people should probably practice. Um, I also made a decision to dump my bike going to the right side, which is generally worse for the bike, but in this case was much better for me. On my right side, the gravel was smaller, and there's also some grassy shoulder. And so when I made that decision, I went into the smaller, less sharp gravel. Had I gone into the middle of the roadway, I would have hit larger, more dangerous, sharper gravel. Um, as it is, I did have some road rash. My t-shirt did have a tear in it. And I had some like little areas where like the rocks poked me. And where my helmet hit, I did end up having some really deep scrapes in my helmet. If you want to see pictures of that, I did post a photo on Instagram of that impact on the helmet. It's original LC Harper if you want to check it out. The bike was unscathed, and I was largely unscathed, and the best thing I could do was immediately get right back onto the bike. And so I did. I was also 4 miles away from home and really needed to ride my bike home. I could have called my wife to come and pick me up, but I also felt it was important for me to get back on the bike and ride it. So I did. Um, and pretty quickly I felt the road rash, my t shirt rubbing against it. Um, it was pretty uncomfortable there. But for the most part, it's been now um, 5 days, 6 days since I had the little fall, and I feel pretty good. My shoulder is still a little sore. I did have some aches and pains, but really it was nothing that an ibuprofen or two across a day to would could take care of. I didn't need to go and see a doctor or anything like that. I will. I think I mentioned this in a upcoming episode, but one of the most important things after you have an accident is, especially an accident that involves your helmet. If your helmet hits the ground, you need to go and buy a new helmet. And unfortunately, even though the impact was slight, I did hit my helmet on the ground, and I can feel underneath the hard outer shell that it was impacted. The cushioning on the inside, the foam, is crushed, and so it is. I did go out to Walmart immediately, and I bought an identical helmet. I thought the last time I looked at the Ozark Trails helmets, they had increased from the $20 I initially paid for it to 25. But they're back down to I think 1997 because Walmart always does a 97, they end their prices in seven for some unknown reason. So anyway, I did pick up another Ozark Trails helmet in the exact same color scheme, and I threw away the other helmet. I did because I am a maker type person, I purchased, I mean, I cut and harvested all of the straps and hardware off of the helmet because you never know when you're going to want a good clasp or piece of webbing. They're always useful, so that will make it its way into my DIY kit. And the helmet itself, unfortunately, I did have to throw away, so I did stomp it in half so that the it won't be pulled out of the trash and someone will attempt to reuse it. Um, Even I think if maybe I purchased more expensive helmets after a slight collision like that, I might consider wearing it some more. But where I purchase, really inexpensive helmets, it's $20. I'd rather just go and spend another $20 and buy a new helmet. So for me, that is what really makes more sense. And it is super affordable. And I also know if I hadn't had the helmet on, I would have had road rash probably from my chin over my ear and through my scalp. I probably would have ended up having to go to the ER and get stitches. Just the way that the scratches look like on my helmet, the way I hit, what my shoulder looks like really tells me that those rocks were very sharp, and I probably would have ended up getting, the side of my head shaved and ending up with some stitches in there. Um, so I'm really glad I was wearing a helmet. I think, even for casual, like commuting, riding, wearing a helmet is the smart thing to do. You do you, but wearing even an inexpensive helmet obviously saved me a lot of trouble. And in the end, it's $20. I'd rather spend the $20 and stay safe. So, for all of you out there, getting on your bikes, getting fit again, and trying to get healthy, please wear a helmet. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate all of you for watching and interacting, and the thumbs up, the likes, and the comments. I really appreciate all of it, and stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks and bye.